Now, today's episode, I hit the first, should I say like the first bar of YouTube where I have 3,000 watch hours. Now, for all my people out there who have been saying, I'm going to start a channel, I just thought I would share who do you talk to among your friends about money? That's the intention behind this community. So the 10,000 level, maybe once every 2 months, I have a live session where if you have a question, we're talking about a topic. And so if you have a question, you can ask it there and then I will respond to you. Hi guys, welcome to the Personal Finance and Coffee Podcast. And I'm Gabriela. On this channel, we talk about managing your money. And fine, we all want to make more money. But how are you managing the money that we already have? And how can we get started in investing it to grow it? So that we don't feel like 5 years later, 10 years later, I worked but I have nothing to show. That's what we talk about on this channel. And if you're new here, welcome to the community. Please like, please subscribe. Now, today's episode, I hit the first, should I say like the first bar of YouTube where I have 3,000 watch hours. Now, when you have 3,000 watch hours, this means that YouTube activates a community where people are able to join your community and make monthly payments, and then you start generating some source of income. It's not a very large source of income, but it's a starting point. And then when you hit 4,000 watch hours, then every time people watch ads, you get some more revenue. Now, as the subscriber count grows, as the watch hour grows, then over time, you're able to reach out to brands and have partnerships with them. So today's episode is about hitting the 3,000 watch hours. And I wanted to introduce you to the community that I'm starting and the offer that I'm presenting you with. Then, the second thing that I want to talk about in this channel is for all my people out there who have been saying, I'm going to start a channel, I just thought I would share my little experience. Because honestly, I'm barely starting. So when it comes to, I wanted to break it down into the process of starting, the ideas, and consistency, and lastly, thinking long term, the struggles that come with, or the struggles that I'm facing. Because this video is coming up without recording after a while, so clearly consistency is always a struggle. Now, let me start with the offer. What am I offering you? Now, the community has two levels. So the first level of the membership is where we are going to have, the monthly membership is going to be 6,000. And here I will be having, when I upload a video, I will create early access so that people that are in the community will see it first for the first 24 hours before other people are able to watch it. That's the first advantage. Now the second one is the second ladder, where it will be 10,000 per month. I was thinking about it. We're in a season or in an era where we have a lot of information. But when you think about what we know and what we do, I don't know if you're like me, but there's usually a missing link there. You feel like I know what to do, but I'm just not doing it. So my hope is that this community will create space for accountability, because you find that the people around you, you're like, okay, I want to work on my money, but who do you talk to among your friends about money? That's the intention behind this community. Now, so the 10,000 level, maybe once every 2 months, I have a live session where if you have a question, we're talking about a topic. And so if you have a question, you can ask it there and then I will respond to you. Now, when that live is done, it will become a video, but not a video that is available to the rest of, like the entire YouTube. It will be available to the members of both ladders, for those who pay 6,000 every month and those who pay 10. The advantage of 10 is that you'll be in the live session and you'll be able to ask your questions. So I encourage you to join the community, pick whichever you prefer. That is first things first. That's the offer. Now, getting started. Let's get into the process of getting here to 3,000. Getting started for me I got the idea in 2019. And then I researched and then I thought, and then my first video, actually it was my first audio. It was more of like a podcast without any video clips. I'll just record an audio, put a picture, and then I'll upload. That went up in 2023. So I've been at it for 2 years. Of course, there are moments of inconsistency, ups and downs, self-doubts, but that was my starting process. And one of the things that really made me actually move from thinking about it to doing it, because I journal, and then I looked at it and I was like, but Gabby, it's going to be 10 years later, and then you'll be asking yourself, what if I had started then? What if I had started then? I don't know if this will work in terms of long term, but at least I will not. I tried, and I tried, and it worked, or it didn't work, because every now and then, honestly, there are doubts. But that is what got me started. So if you're in that same place and you've been thinking about it, just try. Because when I started, one, I was using my Samsung S7 that's the one I used to record. My videos were very not the best. All that clearly, they're still work in progress. I've not yet arrived, but I keep telling myself, just keep moving, one video at a time, and I'll keep getting ideas. I keep learning, and over time, I'll get the hang of it. You know what I mean? So that is it. Now, the next thing that I wanted to talk about is the ideas. Well, how do you get ideas of what videos to talk about? Now, I talk about money and managing money and personal finance. Now, when it comes to ideas, usually I talk, one, of course, you research what are other people uploading, but then also I try to make ideas of things that I've experienced, because I find it easier to talk about what I've experienced. Because now, if I start researching and I give you research that I have not done, I don't know. I feel like I'm faking it for the camera. So that is how I get my ideas. So when I go through life situations, like there's an episode I made about me starting my journey to get a car, and that is something that I'm doing. There's an episode where I had the idea of breaking it down, investing 3.1 million in bonds and then having policies. I uploaded that episode, and that episode, you guys gave me the best feedback, and so many of you are recommending that. Why should you start an insurance policy? You're better off either putting in a unit trust or doing this. And the ideas and the comments that I got on that video have actually made me rethink my plan. I don't know if I'll make another updated episode, but that's what I'm trying to say. That the ideas are coming from the things that I'm doing, or sometimes I read books, I have book reviews. So that is how I'm getting my ideas. So the ideas for this channel revolve around things that I find interesting. Sometimes I also try, like, I can find something interesting, but I'm like, will people find it interesting? Like the episodes I make about my journals, and you guys, the views are so low. And that communicates to me as well that this is something that people are not interested in. So that is how I get the ideas. So if you're thinking about like starting a channel, my thoughts as of now is that you get a topic that you can talk about and you really, really enjoy, that even though you are not making videos, you would still be doing it. Me, that is how I think about it. That's what makes it, in quotes, a little easier, because it's really not easier, but you get what I mean. So that is when it comes to ideas. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is consistency. This is a battle, a daily battle, consistency, because it takes a lot of time to edit the videos, to consistently put them up, along with life, because I have a full-time job, and then I have 3 children, and I have a husband, and you get my point. You have social life, so life happens. So there are always seasons on this channel where I just there's nothing. You get what I mean? And I feel so every now and then I'm like, but Gabby, you fail. That internal dialogue that we have. But I try to give myself grace and say, okay, I'm going to get back up. I've not failed, and then I try to see, maybe I can batch record and record a number of videos, and then I'm consistent for a while. But then when they get done, it then takes me longer to record more. So I keep adjusting. I'm still trying to figure out a system that works, especially now that the channel is not bringing in income, and it does not make financial sense to now invest in paying for an editor and changing a venue. And right now, I feel like it doesn't make. I would want the channel to be self-sustaining. That's the vision that I have. Because if the channel is making money, then I can be able to outsource, and perhaps it will grow so much further when you have sponsors on the channel and things like that. So when it comes to consistency, just what has worked is the seasons where I batch record. So I sit down, I'm going to record this video, and then I, of course, change outfits. You literally block out some time, and then you just record the videos, and then you edit and you schedule them. Because when you edit and then you schedule them, then they will go up at the same time. Whether what has happened. If you've done it in advance, then they go up. And that is what I'm struggling with, and that is what has worked. I don't know if you'll find this helpful. Now, the last thing that I wanted to talk about is the long-term view when it comes to YouTube. Now, this is really tricky because I don't know. In my head, first of all, I enjoy the process, but when you look at the time and the return in terms of the monetary return, there is no monetary return right now. And then you're like, so sometimes it's not even just me in my head. There are people actually telling me that, Kathy, is this really worth it? Aren't you better off finding another venture that is profitable and investing your time and energy there where you're going to make more money? So that is, it's still a process that is unraveling. But when I say long term, I'm trying to think about this as planting seeds, because how I counter this is by watching other people who have done this much longer and how they've moved. You get? Because I think, as I told you about an episode about, I was watching Ali Abdal, and he was talking about first make 100 videos and then see if it's something you want to stick to. So it kept me going, like, okay, let me first make 100 and I see, you know. And then he explains, like, I see the growth, you know, from how he had was consistent, and then he had a YouTube creators business, like coaching business, and now he's into making apps. And then I see other people, like there's someone called Natalie, she does the offline with humans. So I see how now she has been on YouTube and she's still on YouTube, but now she has physical products. So so that is how I get motivation in terms of the long term. Now, of course, the temptation is that, Gabby, but these guys are not here in your country. Who in your country is doing this long term? And there are people who are doing it. I've seen this, I've seen who, but of course there are always challenges. So I'm not. That is how I'm thinking about it. That this is a starting point for me, and I will eventually grow it with time. So those are my thought processes that I have. So yeah. Anyway, I just thought I'd make this video for anyone who's starting out. These are my ideas. These are my lessons. These are my challenges as I get started. Please join the community. You can join the first tier, the second tier, and yeah, I look forward to your support. It is very welcome. You like, subscribe, join the community. That is very helpful as well. Comment, what are your thoughts? Do you want to start a channel? What are, you know, have you started a channel and it's working out for you? So those are my, that's my thought process. I hope you found some value in today's episode. It's a bit different. If you're new here, all the episodes are not only about YouTube. I just thought that this would be an interesting video to make, but also for me to look back and I'm like, oh, I just hit, you know, that point at this time. It would be interesting to look back. I hope you found some value in this episode. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.